I hear that sanctions for the GDPR have been increased and are significant. What are they?
Yeah. Well, obviously, this is one of the big talking points, of course, that does get everybody's interest.
Okay.
Is the level of sanctions, because they're considerable. The ICO, Information Commission's officer, now can issue fines to a business that doesn't comply with GDPR of up to 20 million euros.
Wow.
Or 4% of worldwide turnover, whichever is the higher. So,
wow.
We're talking big numbers there.
Yeah.
That's the maximum, obviously, that they can levy. They have other powers associated with that. So there's the fines. That's the big talking point. Everyone gets a bit anxious.
Yeah.
They can also, there's a number of things. They can conduct an audit of the business and how they've managed data. They can issue warnings. They can put a temporary or permanent ban on the business from processing data. So they can ask for corrective action on behalf of an individual. So there's a number of powers. So it's not just fines. I mean, the fines would be bad enough, but I mean, if there was a ban on, for example, processing, what impact would that have on the business?
For some businesses, such as service centre, that could be the end of the business.
Yeah. So it's a serious business. I mean, to be fair, that's not to say that we'll use these with caution. They have, obviously, under the current legislation, they do issue and have issued large fines to businesses. But there is an element of proportionality in this, and they'll take account of the measures that businesses have taken. So if measures are taken in good faith, you respond to queries from the ICO, obviously that will all be in your favour. You've got to, I think the key is for businesses to deal with this, do the right thing, get the house in order in terms of documentation and processes. And breaches do happen from time to time, of course. So what you want to do is demonstrate that you've done all you can on that.
Yes.
And they'll take all that into account. Individuals, of course, can sue for compensation as well. So that's another thing.
That's true.
Notwithstanding the ICO sanctions and fines and so on, they could sue for compensation for material damage that might occur as a result of their data being used. So, an identity theft, say, and some financial loss, they could sue for any losses there. But also reputational, non-material damage that an individual could sue for. And that could be reputational or something of that nature. The fines will be levied for breaching the principles as well. Forget. So you've got to comply with the 6 principles. Any breaches of those could warrant a fine. So that, failure to inform properly, that's got to be lawful, specific, all those principles, accuracy and secure, and so on and so forth. There's another level of sanctions as well. So the maximum, as we said, 20 million and 4%. For things like failure to notify a breach, for example, because that's required now under the GDPR. You must notify certain types of breach to the ICO. If you fail to do that where you should have done, they can fine you as well. But it is slightly lower level. But when I say lower level, it still can be 2% of worldwide turnover and 10 million euros. So that's still significant. That sort of level of fine, that lower tier as well, would come into play if, for example, you fail to have an adequate contract as a controller with your processor. So that is another key element in all this GDPR, the responsibilities of controllers and processors with regard to GDPR and how you both meet those obligations. And you need good contracts to explicitly spell out the responsibilities. So that would fall into the second tier of fines, if you like. But as I say, still significant.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much.